for the assassination of John Kennedy. That's what this would be like. And the Americans came to Robert Kennedy. Come on, give me a break, will you? Let's be fair. Then Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been my brother, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know you can do anything that God, that you want. Jesus said, your brother will rise again. So they have this discussion, and she called her sister Mary to her, line 28. Here's Mary and Martha. The Master is coming, or the Lord. And then the Jews who were with her in the house to comfort her saw that Mary was quickly getting up to go. And she was running to the tomb to weep there. It's a little like the empty tomb of Jesus with Mary running to the tomb. But in that case, who is it? Mary Magdalene. These things slide, depending on the tradition. This is Mary, sister of Lazarus. And then she came and saw Jesus, and she fell down at his feet and said to him, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And then, where have you laid him? Here's that laying out expression, line 34, maybe accidental, maybe tied to the previous ones we had. It was in a cave, and there was a stone lying there, and Jesus takes away the stone. And Martha says, look, it stinks. The body's been in there for 4 days. I have a chapter in my new book, Lazarus' stinking body and Rabbi Eliezer's bad breath. And Lazarus, comes from Eliezer in Hebrew. And there's a whole Talmudic tradition about how Rabbi Eliezer put doo-doo in his mouth. Put khaki doo-doo clods of cow dung into his mouth to give himself a bad breath purposely. I don't know why he did this, but then he met the great rabbi, who was it, Yochanan ben Zakkai, the one who creates Rabbinic Judaism. Anyways, Rabbi Eliezer comes, and I guess he doesn't want people to think that he's special or something. And then he speaks or something, and Rabbi Yochanan said, oh, yes, I forget how he puts it, but out of his mouth, it's like that, man is not known by what goes into the mouth, but what comes out of his mouth. Then this expression is, yes, he may smell a horrible odor, may come out of his mouth, but his words will be heard throughout the world in the richest, most wonderful way. Again, it relates totally to the toilet bowl scenario that we had in the follow-up to the Pharisees' blind guides. I can't give you the actual language, but it's in my new book. I'm going to hurry here. Then when she came and saw where Jesus was, Mary fell down at his feet and said to him, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. And it stinks in the tomb for 4 days. And he has Lazarus come out, 43, and he who had been dead came out, bound hand and foot in the grave clothes. And Jesus said, untie him. And then most of the Jews who came to Mary and saw what Jesus did believed on him. Here is believing on Jesus again, the Pauline approach to Jesus. But some of the Pharisees, again the enemy Pharisees, who saw what he did, doing, the Jamesian emphasis on doing, went and told the chief priests, what can we do? Look, if we let him go around like this, they say, the Romans will come and take away our nation. And then Caiaphas, who was the high priest, said, look, it's better one man die for the people than the whole nation should be lost. So that's an interesting conversation. So Jesus, for them, is a sacrifice to save the people. Anyway, that's why supposedly in John they turn him over or don't turn him over. But let me quickly go to 12 before you go. I don't have time to do it all. Then 6 days before Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, where Lazarus lived. In a parentheses, I have who had died, whom he had raised from the dead. I think this is an alternate episode. This is not after he raised him. This is another one that's been coalesced in here. So then this is a different Mary, Martha, Lazarus episode, tacked on to the previous one. So they made a supper for him there, and Martha served. And Lazarus was the one who was at the table with him. And they took a pound of ointment of pure spikenard of great value, and Mary anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair. And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment. There's the filled and the odor imagery again. Then one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, or Simon's son, or Simon the son of Judas Iscariot, or Simon the brother of Judas, Judas the brother of Simon Iscariot, who was about to deliver him up, said, "Why was not this ointment sold for 300 silver pieces and given to the poor? Why are you making such a fuss over this Greek god type individual?" Then Jesus said, "Let her alone. She's kept it for my burial," which will relate to the noctimon material and the anointing his body. And he says, "The poor you have with me always," not in this episode, but in the synoptic parallel to this episode, he says, it's the apostles who complain in those. I'll have to go back there next time. "The poor you have with me always, but you do not always have me," which is a very egocentric thing to say. And again, has to do with the poor, and it's more like what a Greek god like Asclepius, Dionysus, Osiris, one of these people would say when the people honor him. It's not what something we would have in Palestine. It's not that thing. So Judas Iscariot is shown here caring about the poor. That is, being a member of the movement called the poor, connected to James. James tells Paul in Galatians 2, don't forget to remember the poor. Now what I want you to do is, next time, help me. Go through all the Gospels as best you can. You can do it with a concordance. Find all the episodes where someone anoints Jesus' feet and wipes their hair with his feet, and you'll find about 5 or 6 different ones, all repeating each other in different situations. One even not at Simon the son of Judas Iscariot's house, or Lazarus' house, or Mary and Martha's house, but at Simon the leper's house. Now that's going to be a total code name, Simon the leper's house. And you'll find, and then there'll be another woman of the city that comes with an alabaster a jug and does it. So look under alabaster, look under ointment, look under feet, look under, anointing, look under wiping with her hair, and so on. And I think you'll find about 7 different episodes like that. And then we'll try to tie all this together. It's hard work. I apologize for being so disjointed. But I'm teaching anything I know, so if it helps you, good. If it doesn't, chuck it away, throw it in the garbage.